Well, it's termite season, and you would think when I mentioned termites, we'd be talking to somebody with pest control. No, we're speaking to an attorney. Matthew Mestayer with the firm of Reeves And Mestayer. How are you doing, sir? Always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Good morning, Jim. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, I know we have you on Law Call every Saturday night.
We do.
Right
That's
after
right.
the 10 o'clock news.
Yep.
But you would think that, you would hope that you would never be in a situation where you would need an attorney when it comes to litigation regarding termites.
True enough.
But it's possible.
Absolutely.
So,
I tell you, Jim, we're doing a lot of termite litigation. 5-10 years ago, almost none. But let me tell you, nothing like having your own personal claim to kind of change your view of the world. I have a termite at my house. Of course, I live on the coast, live in Ocean Springs. Had a termite contract. Had a termite problem. One day in the kitchen there was a mound of termites. And going through that process, I learned quite a bit. I learned some of the good things the termite companies were doing, and quite frankly, some of the bad things the termite companies were doing. And let me just tell you, I think before, if you have a termite claim, if you have, a termite contract and you have live termites, you need to talk to an attorney just to get a free review. We know the rules about what they're required to do, what they're not required to do, bait stations, how often they're required to check. We're kind of a nice kind of sounding board and fact checker to make sure you're getting correct information.
well, one of the things that, before we actually started the show this morning,
Yeah.
is that, I asked, I mentioned that I have, pest service, termite service and all that.
Yeah.
And then you asked me, do you have maintenance or do you have?
Right. Well, there's several types of that's one of the first questions we ask. There's several types of termite contracts. There's something called a service contract, where that is they just come out and service your property, and if there's any termite damage, they're not responsible. That's on you. That's it. Okay, that's one type. A better contract, the contract I prefer and recommend all my clients get, if you can, is what's called a repair guarantee contract. And that is, they not only service your property, but if you have termite damage, they will repair it. So if you have termite damage, they will repair it at their cost. Because in the end of the day, that's what you're really looking for, right? I mean, if you got damage, you want someone to pay for it. So,
Right.
A service contract has its value. It's usually cheaper than a repair guarantee contract. But I'm telling you, to get real protection, true protection, you want a repair guarantee. But that doesn't mean if you have a service contract that there is not possible recovery, because they still have to do it right. They still have to do what they're supposed to do. They have to follow the rules, and if they don't, well, then they're responsible.
Well, I have the little green traps all around the house. So
Well, that's true.
They check them on a regular basis.
Well, that's true, but there are rules about how far they have to be apart, how often they have to be checked. There's a whole lot of rules, and quite frankly, that I didn't know. As a homeowner, I got a termite contract. I said, whew, thank goodness, don't have to worry about that anymore. Well, as luck would have it, you have to know your rights, you have to know the rules, and now we know the rules as well as anybody. We know exactly what they have to do, when they have to do it, how far the traps have to be, what do you do with driveways, do you have to drill, all those kind of things, pre-treatment. There's a lot of things we know that we didn't know 5-10 years ago, but we've done some of this litigation. We're on top of it, and people should know. For sure.
Wow, I'm worn out just listening. Just
Don't
hearing
be
about
worn
all
out,
this.
Jim. They're crafty little critters, let me tell you.
I would almost think that your insurance company would be the one as far as protection or repairs.
Nope.
No?
You'd be disappointed on that part. You would be disappointed. No, the insurance company is not. I've yet to see a policy that comes in, a homeowner's policy that comes in and pays for basically
Termite damage,
animal damage, animal infestation.
So
it's you and the termite company, and that's about it.
Wow. So I mean, are there? I guess there's different levels of things as far as protection. I mean, you got protection, and then you got repairs.
Right.
And I mean,
well, it all starts and ends with that contract, with your relationship with the termite company. So that's really one of the first things. I really recommend people do have some type of termite protection. It seems like termites are really kind of on the move. Maybe it's a warmer climate, who knows? But it seems like termites are everywhere now, and so you've got to, it's very important. And
well, you always know when the season starts when we get the warning from Wesley and all of them in the weather department. All the Formosans are swarming.
Well, it's really Mother's Day to Father's Day. That's
Yeah.
really kind of when they swarm, and we've all seen it, me included. You turn off the lights on outside, you see them all outside, and at the baseball field, things like that, they're there. So anyway, you got to be careful. You got to protect yourself, because I didn't bring pictures this time, but I can. And left unchecked, and when they get in there, the damage is devastating. And usually when you find them, You know, they've been there sometimes for years, and what they can do is unfortunately amazing, the amount of damage they can do.
And just because you have a brick home doesn't mean that you're,
Gosh,
you're
not at all. No, you're not safe. I mean, listen, if there's wood in your house, if there's like studs in the walls, second floor, I know people that have concrete, you know, literally concrete homes on the first floor, wood frame second floor, and the termites got to the second floor. They just work their way up, and I've seen them eat literally, you know, styrofoam. I mean, anyway,
Styrofoam.
Yes, yes. Probably not to live in it, probably not for food, but to make a nest, absolutely. I've seen them do it in styrofoam. I mean, I've quite frankly, I've seen a lot.
Is this something that attorneys are just now dealing with? I mean, have y'all been dealing with this for a long time?
It is not really. Yeah, this is something, you know, new to us. You know, we, as I say, several years ago, you know, we would just say, well, you know, we don't really know much about it. And then, you know, usually we respond to a need. We kept getting phone calls. We kept getting phone calls. And when people come to you and say, oh my gosh, and look at my, you know, my house, and it's been eaten alive, and I had a termite contract, and they're saying they're not going to pay for anything. What do I do? It's going to kill my savings. You know, that's when we get involved. That's kind of things speak to us. And so we started slowly kind of getting into it, And as we started to do, you know, one of those things, unfortunately, you know, more and more came. I mean, I've got a very large inventory of termite cases, always happy for more, always happy to help people, because in the end, it's about helping people. It's their house, their most valuable investment, and they need to protect it. And, you know, and it just, we're there to help and happy to help.
I mean, y'all have been, how long have y'all been on the coast now?
Oh, my entire career. It's over 33 years,
you know,
if we want to count, but we're not going to count. So yeah, over 33 years, Jim, a while.
Yeah. You look great for you. You must have started as a teenager.
I must have, I must have been in elementary school.
But I know that, you know, I've known you and Jim Reeves for quite a few years. We've done this show, a lot of
Friends
other different
of the
things.
station here, for sure.
Yes, and I know that a lot of the different areas that y'all cover, and I've been very successful with it as well. So
well,
this is
we've been fortunate. We like to do a good job. Well, you know, when you believe in what you do and you're helping people, and particularly your neighbors, your friends, you know, we've been lucky. We've been fortunate.
And when it hits home yourself.
And my own, that's right. And let me tell you, when your wife, you know, when you have a home we have a claim in your own home, and you're dealing with your wife every day on it. Let me tell you learn a lot about termites, my friend. You learn quite a bit.
Honey, what are we going to do about this, honey?
Don't you do this for a living? Why? Well, we got through it. Everything. We were able to work it out satisfactorily to everyone's, you know, to everyone's satisfaction. So it worked out okay.
All right, Matthew Mestayer with Reeves and Mestayer in Biloxi. Always a pleasure talking to you and
thank you, my friend.
Learning some new things. I know we're going to come back later on in the year and talk about some more things that y'all deal with. So again, if you're having issues with termites and you don't know, you know, what kind of
where to go, who to call.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Call Reeves and Mestayer. They're located off Main Street in Biloxi. Phone number's on the bottom of your screen. Give them a call.